we'd like to demonstrate to you the installation and use of PowerCoil wire thread inserts. What we have here is a demonstration kit covering M6 by 1 pitch. So in the kit we have a paddle with holes. Some have already been pre-tapped to the screw thread insert size. We also have the handle to the paddle, which obviously is recessed here and can sit nicely there and screwed into place. We have the 2 screws. Also in the kit is 2 spacers, which we'll show you the use of in a little while. What we've done with this paddle here is, with these 2 holes here, they've been pre-tapped out to a wire thread insert size for M6, and then we've installed wire thread inserts in them. So we've incorporated the use of the product actually in the demonstration. So you just put the handle on, screw the bolts down. Of course you can tighten them up through the socket head there, but of course that gives you then a lot of leverage to be able to use this demonstration kit. On the end here you'll see a bigger insert, which is an M14 by 1.25 spark plug thread, and you can see if you zoom in there how the insert is actually bigger than the tapped hole. So when the insert goes in there, it actually compresses against the wall of the parent material and therefore locking it in place, and essentially that is how a wire thread insert works and how it retains its position. Okay, also in the kit we have a spanner, we have an extraction tool, an installation tool, and then the tang brake tool. Also some M6 by 1 pitch by 2D length, which is 12mm length of wire thread inserts, and some fasteners which are grade 8.8. Okay, so a wire thread insert, you can see there the little hook on the end is called the tang. That always points down towards the installation, and it's very important to know that when you are installing it, you get the installation tool and the tang is pointing downwards. So the tang sits through that slot on the end of the installation tool. The collar here is adjustable, so you just pick up your screwdriver, adjust the little grub screw, push it down, and the ideal position for a wire thread insert is to ensure that the driving tang is positioned about halfway down that slot, not right on the bottom, because all that will do is when you put pressure on the insert, it will stretch the insert and make it harder to install. Not too close to the end, because as the insert installs into the hole and stretches and follows the thread form of the tapped hole, it will stretch and fall off the end of the tool. So the ideal position is to have it about halfway down that slot. And you tighten up the grub screw, and so now you've set your tool up ready to install the insert. The best thing to do then is simply apply some downward pressure until you feel the first thread start to wind in, and once that happens it just follows the tapped thread form all the way through. As the collar is getting closer to the parent material, you can just slow down a bit, have a look. Ideal depth for installing an insert is about 1 to 1.5 turns below the surface. It might be a bit hard to see, but that's pretty good. Okay, so once we've installed that, the idea then is to break that driving tang off so you can put your bolt in. Tang brake tool. There we have our driving tang. We can wind a bolt straight into that brand new thread. There we go. Now that we've seen how to install the insert, and as you can see it's a very simple process, unlike some other threaded insert repairs. There's only 4 steps, and that's drilling, tapping, installing and breaking the tang, and you're pretty much done. So now we'll use this spacer that we talked about before, put it over the bolt, wind the fastener in. The idea of the spacer is simply to assist the bolt in breaking above the surface of the material, easier to get the bolt out, and you just keep tightening up the fastener until something happens. All bolts are rated to a certain torque level, and of course once they're installed to that level there's no need to do much else. In this occasion we kept winding until it broke. You can see we can get the fastener out and then quite simply wind in a brand new one. And that clearly indicates that under normal circumstances in soft aluminium bar that tightening up a bolt that much would strip the threads out of the parent material, but with a wire thread insert in there, a stainless wire thread insert, you've actually created a stronger thread, you've protected the thread from that damage. We've shown you how to install an insert, we've broken off the tang, we've indicated how well they work and how strong they are and how they create a much stronger thread. If on the odd occasion you need to pull an insert out, then you can use this extraction tool. It's got a triangular head and the edges are beveled, so by putting it into the hole and pushing down fairly hard you can actually grab the first couple of threads and you can start to wind the insert out. Provided the insert is not being installed too deep, of course. If it has been installed too deep, the easiest way to do it is to get a very fine pick and perhaps just pick at the first thread and then a pair of pointy nose pliers and you'll be able to just pull the insert out of the hole. And there we go. And there's no reason why you can't just get another insert now and install that straight into the hole, provided you haven't done too much damage to the opening of the hole.